Oh, the landscape would have been very better, but the YouTube is really not doing its thing the way it's supposed to, and the comments are not really coming up. So I hope you guys are gonna like it on this very mode that it is. I'm really sweating hard here. So what is the discussion that we're having today is why is Maxwell Chikumbutso's groundbreaking invention denied of patent? It's something that's a call to concern to a lot of us, which a lot of you guys are very curious. There have been a lot of talks, comments within, rolling down in the comment section. However, that's a lot. Um, I have a lot of critics going on there, and I feel this would have been very better. This would have been better off if suppose this is hello, hi. That's Mortian. That's your name is kind of mouthful to pronounce. So if you don't mind me, so let's get to it. Why was Maxwell Chikumbutso's groundbreaking invention disrupted? I mean, the patent denied. This is something which a lot of people are asking. It's a question which is very puzzling, and there are a lot of factors that are actually contributing to this very point here. How is the volume of the music? I hope it's not too loud. Okay, guys, see, I'm sweating really hard. I don't want a lot of wind blowing down here. So the question about why is Maxwell Chikumbutso's, welcome guys, why is Maxwell Chikumbutso's groundbreaking invention denied of patent? If we start to put the puzzles together, we can be able to see, okay, thank you for tuning in, Motian. If we can be able to arrange the puzzle, gather the pieces of puzzle the way it is, we will be able to discover that there's a lot of things which are critical elements which a lot of people are not considering when we're talking about why was when we're trying to decipher why was Maxwell Chikumbutso's invention denied of patent, because it is not emitting greenhouse gas. It's not. It's zero CO2 footprint. It's in conformity with green energy, which is actually the step for which the Western world and government are pushing towards. However, the concerning question still remains: why did they refuse to give him patent? And I'm going to explain to you guys. I'm going to explain to you guys why, so that this can be able to help people understand what's going on. And we also talk about why they didn't give it publicity that it deserved. There are some kind of people, Joe Aggie. There are a lot of people who will understand that there are some certain kind of people who those invention is coming from, they're gonna receive a lot of publicity, free publicity, a huge one. Let's say like Elon Musk, a lot of other guys out there, you know. However, when it's coming from Africa, something is very concerned about Africa. Why isn't his invention given patent? Now, the first thing which I'm gonna say about that is that, you know, granting him patent in such a huge innovation, huge invention, such a disruptive technology is gonna like give Africa, render Africa the headship, the new headship of the global leader of innovation and technology. I hope you guys can hear me clearly. So giving Africa a headship is like trying to humble the Western world, whether I like it or not. That's what it is. And I know a lot of Western guys are not going to be happy about that. But you see, guys, when we talk about invention, when we are on the table of invention, there is no, I don't think it's something that's supposed to be dealing with a racial profiling. I don't think it's something that has to do with race, gender, or ethnicity. It's supposed to be just by merit. Because let's take a look at the factors why Chikumbutso refused to subject his invention to Western scientific community for rigorous testing and scrutiny. If you have actually dived back into history, you agree with me that there have been a lot of cases of stolen inventions, that there are some certain people who do more of patenting than inventing. And those are the people who are requesting that Maxwell Chikumbutso's groundbreaking invention should be submitted for rigorous testing, duplication, replication of its result to see if it works as I say. Now, put yourself in the shoe of Maxwell Chikumbutso. No one knows how many years he has been before that very ideology came into his mind, before the divine encounter honored it. So things like an invention is not something that when someone stole it, you can't retrieve it back. When someone stole your invention, you can retrieve it back. So if the scientific community or the patent office is not transparency enough to be able to stay clear of being biased, racial conflict, thank you, Matthew Chidix. Thank you. If they couldn't be transparent enough to call a spade, regardless of the color of the skin of the person, same goes with the scientific community, then they're unfit to be able to perform the scrutiny or the rigorous testing of anyone's invention, be it a white guy, be it a person of color, be it an Asia. It doesn't matter the color, it doesn't matter the race. That is my stand on it. However, where a lot of people has been in the history have had it that there have been a lot of stolen inventions, like you talk about the people of person of Thomas Edison. If you get to discover that the person who really owns the invention is a black guy, then it's gonna, it's gonna really shock you. Then we're not talking about some other people who have been silenced, like Nikola Tesla, Stanley Mayer, and the list goes on. These are just to name a few. Yes, yeah, Michael Safa. Yes, the president of Zimbabwe is in support, is in full support because, and that is one of the main reasons why I believe that it is real and it is legit, it is legitimate. There have been a false claim from two people that is very concerning. One is from Chikanza, somebody called Chikanza. I can't remember his surname, but and things is really up right now that I can be able to go ahead and dig it up. Then the next one is PR Nigeria that are quickly to dismiss that. Uh, that's a topic which I'm going to talk about on the next video. That the guy is a fraud, is a criminal, you know, and I kind of find it very terrible how the Western medias and some of the people, the bandwagon syndrome, quickly believe that when you are trying to discredit someone of his invention and you start labeling the person that the person is a fraudster, that the person is a criminal, that the person deals on arms and stole things, it doesn't add up. I was thinking that the evidence of Chikanza or Chimpanzee, Chikanza or PR Nigeria is going to be based on fact that yes, if this is Maxwell Chikumbutso's invention, okay, yeah, we've torn it apart like, Jerry rigs everything, right? Then you said, okay, you have gotten a product from this guy. There is a stack of lithium battery inside and you show it to the world. First of all, you bring Maxwell to the table, right? You bring Maxwell to the table and say, "This is your product," and he say, "Yes." You're absolutely sure. He say, "Yes." Are you absolutely sure that it's your product? What's your trademark that shows that it's your product? Your logo, a lot of your brand, right? So all these things are something which people have to take into consideration. However, they didn't go through that route because they know that what they are saying is false. They're leveling a false accusation, and the Western world are very quick to hear accusations. The so-called people who have been tagged the investigative journalism are fraud. They have been paid to dismiss some kind of invention that is going to be so disruptive like this Maxwell Chikumbutso. Not to talk about that he is someone from the black community, person of color. It raises a lot of questions and a lot of concern for the white people. Yes, if you don't know, you should know. Like in the Bible, there is a mention of, does anything good come from the Nazareth? What do you think is Nazareth? Nazareth is Africa. So that concern has been on even why the Bible is being scripted that nothing good comes from Africa. So a lot of people are believing that. And that is why there is a lot of fueling of a lot of hatred, a lot of, you name it, a whole lot of conglomerate of hatred, canvassing hatred instead of giving him a medal, a Nobel Prize, and a medal for becoming the best and the greatest inventor ever lived that is currently alive. People are fueling with hate, envy, and jealousy. That is so pathetic. That is so pathetic. So, uh, prior to the Chikanza claim, I read the whole story about the Chikanza claim accusing Maxwell Chikumbutso to be fraud and criminal, and which I believe maybe that is even what the white people who are so much flooding the comment with saying that is fake and a scam. I read through the whole article, and all from the beginning to the end he have been talking about is just false claims that this man deals on arms. This man, Maxwell Chikumbutso, deals on arms illegally. He is a criminal. He have robbed this. He have robbed that. Wow. Why I say that it shocked me is, how do people become very, very docile to believe some kind of things like that? That you ask someone, uh, is that what that you are holding? And he said, I fly, I go to the moon. How does that actually connect to, if that is water that you're holding? It really doesn't make a sense. So that's why I was saying that if Chikanza would have gotten a product from Maxwell, be sure if it is the self-powered car or the self-powered generator or the self-powered superbike, and he rigged it, tore it apart, after bringing Maxwell on one table and say, "You are sure that this is your product?" He say, "Yes." "You are completely sure? Give us some proof that this is your product." And Maxwell demonstrated, and every other proof that this is actually Maxwell's product. Then after then, what happens? He ripped it apart and starts showing people pack of lithium batteries. Then that is a fact. That will automatically make Maxwell Chikumbutso a fraud. But here, he didn't even got one even product. He didn't even go through any process of trying to open the product to know if it is actually standing up to its claims. He didn't even wait to see the demonstration that was made, and he just dashed in and started calling him, branding him a scam. You know, such kind of a person is supposed to be jailed for life for defamation of character. There shouldn't be any time in this world where someone can just wake up and open his mouth and start leveling accusation that is fatal enough to destroy someone's life. And we're talking about reputation here. Someone's reputation is on the line. So that shouldn't, I don't know why people have to conceive that notion to believe it so much that now you're seeing like a whole, like, seem like the whole Western world are just going crazy that the guy is a scam. It's terrible, you know? It's very, very terrible. So now we go over to the PR Nigeria. The PR Nigeria that say that it has a pack of lithium battery, but there was no any proof. They didn't go into breaking it down so that people can be able to see it. You know, when I want to give you facts, I go through a lot of rigorous process of getting elements that are fact, that you can't beat it with falsehood or by pretense or whatsoever. Brainwashing people, you can get it. And I have laid it down step by step in most of the videos which I've published so far, which I've uploaded so far, so that you guys can see where I'm seeing the element of truth inside this thing, that there is no anything a scam. Yes, the invention is groundbreaking. Yes, it is mind-boggling. Yes, it is too good to be true. Yes, but is it feasible? It is feasible. Is it real? It is real. Hello. Ochuko God. Hello. So what I'm trying to say, if at all I'm going to say anything, is that Africa has come of age to make informed decision about its welfare and prosperity. And we don't need babysitting. We don't need validation of the Western world in order to be able to determine what is good for us and what is not good for us. Now, a lot of people are saying, someone asked me in the comment section today, I don't know, maybe I should pull it up. He said, why is it that it is not being shown in China news, is in Chinese news, it's not being shown in India, it's not shown in any of the Western mainstream media? Well, if suppose that guy is here, I would have been happy, but I will attend to that very question. Do you know the reason why? Because I know a lot of people also going to be having that kind of a feeling, that why is it that this very invention, this groundbreaking invention that I am claiming, I am standing 100% behind, like almost about putting my life on the line for, why am I so confident about this very invention that is real when it's not been published, why it's not being given publicity on the Western mainstream media as much as Asians? And I go forward to reply him, when was the last time Asians, Americans, Europeans promoted Africa in their mainstream media? The answer is zero. The Asians are never good, or there have never been any time that the Asians are putting African technology or trying to promote Africa in their own place. It has never been done. But what we do know, what I do know very much often, which I've been watching on the TV as the last time I could be able to watch the Western mainstream media, is, if there is anything very horrible, if there is anything very terrible about Africa, such as pandemics, such as hunger, such as you know, malnutritions, and a whole lot of that is ugly, ghetto lifestyle, you're gonna see them flipping on the CNN every 5 seconds. You're gonna see it on Al Jazeera. You're gonna see it on BBC. You're gonna see it on Chinese media, and a lot of them. So those are things that the Western world will promote quickly, because what that means, if you don't get the narrative, is pushing people or Africa or even their own people from going to Africa to invest. And I tell them, look at how terrible that place looks like. Look at, it looks like a shithole. There was a point where Donald Trump did actually call Africa a shithole. And now, imagining US trying to give a patent to the nation Donald Trump called a shithole. Do you know what that is actually going to make the Western guys look like? It's going to make them look so stupid. Because if you don't understand what it means is that Africa just beat the white people in their own game. That is what it is. So a lot of people aren't getting this very point here, and that is why it really upsets me. But though I can understand that success actually attract hatred too. So when you don't see the African invention, groundbreaking invention being televised, being shown on the mainstream media of the Western nation, it is a remarkable portrait of hatred and envy, jealousy. Yes, from time immemorial, I've seen a lot of people who get jealous because someone is doing better than them. Yes, someone did something first, something they have never thought of, they have never believed is going to be possible. That's why I said in one of my recent video that the invention of Maxwell Chikumbutso is 3,000 years ahead of its time. And that is why people are looking at it to be too good to be true. You know? So I can be able to tell that even from here, a lot of people who are joining my live stream tonight, I can guarantee you that 90% of them are going to be people of colors. And I like you guys. I really cherish your love and support and your positive, being optimistic, because whether you like it or not, this is your own brother they are trying to bury alive. This is your own brother's work they are trying to bury alive. How many times do we have to stand by and watch that happen? Someone says that racism is not new, it's just getting a light shined on. That's Will Smith. So, for the fact that they didn't patent him, that's why I say that Africa has come of age to make decision, to make informed decision that's going to foster their economic and financial growth as much as their well-being. And therefore, we don't need a validity from the Western science community. We don't need that. It has been demonstrated to work before people. In fact, one of the video which I have, it was demonstrated, and why the demonstration was going on. They took a refrigerator, which a lot of you guys know pulls a lot of power, and they plug it to the car, and it powers it up. What more did you folks need? What more did you really want? So the question is not even about what more. You know, when you're trying to please someone, let me say this is like when you are in a relationship that the second person has made up his or her mind to go, no matter how good you tried to convince him or her, will never change anything. So that is what it is to the Western world. And in my best summary, which I often say is, it is not too big to ask for. The Western world should go about their day driving their skepticism, Tesla, Model, VW, Mercedes, EQ, uh, Audi, e-tron, right? While Africa go about their day driving their self-powered car. It's a win-win situation for the both. So Africa is a different continent of its own. It goes on, it has its own different philosophy about life and its own pattern of life, cultural heritage, and rest of them. So Africa can go in their own pathways while the Western world go in their own pathways. It is not too big to ask for. So that's why I say Africa don't need to be babysitted by the Western folks. A lot has been going on back then. Like I said, you know, if we take a look at it from here, everything we're currently using right now is made by the white people. The smartphone we're using, the microphone I'm talking to you guys from, you name it. Every damn thing, the, what do you call it again? The MP, the soundbar, most things that we're using today is actually made by the white people. But does it really provoke a lot of hatred and envy from us? We might envy them, but it doesn't get to the point that we call them scam. And that is what I often say, that when you get to a point where you are in a context and the person who is in the context with you defeated you and you started branding him, calling him scam, a loser or a cheater, you are weak. You are a loser. You are the real loser. You should man up. You should brace up and contest professionally and beat the person, not complain and brand him all kinds of name because you couldn't beat the person. So that's exactly the same kind of game that the Western world are playing these days. So it's up to us to brace up and embrace the new reality. You know the reason why I'm even telling you guys to embrace this very new reality. It is a blessing to us. It is a real blessing to us if you don't understand what it is. I'm gonna explain this to you guys by saying, let's take a look at the three biggest oil producer in the world. We have Russia, we have Saudi Arabia, and which one is the third one? Is Nigeria. Now, if we take a look at these three of them, to Russian, it is a blessing to their citizens because the politicians, Putin, never slacked back in managing their resources. To the Saudi Arabia, it is a blessing to them. Look at, you can see Dubai. Dubai has been turned like a golden city. You hardly even see their citizens if you go to work in Dubai. Their citizens are enjoying the benefit of the fossil fuel. You know where things got dark? It's when you come to Nigeria. If you step into Nigeria, then you understand that the crude oil, which is a blessing to the Western world, is a curse on Nigeria. I'm talking about the citizens. They are living below poverty lines. They are living from hand to mouth. And they are, in fact, I'm going to say that most of the food which they eat lacks a sufficient protein. So that is why I mean that the oil in Nigeria is a curse. And who made it to be so is the Western nation. You can change it. The Shell, Chevron, you name them, that controls the oil. So, and they are doing that using the leaders. So if you rewind back and take a look at the leaders in Nigeria who has gone away, if he gone out of the office quickly, or he got labeled a bad name, like a mad dog, like they labeled Gaddafi, then he's doing something very good and very positive to his people. But if they are cheering him up, if they are praising him, then it means he's dancing to their tune. That's what it is. Okay, Nyame, bro, ignore those data. Can you get a list customer who is using any of the the product, be it a TV powered self bike or anything? Nyama, nyamai. I don't know if you're an Africa or a European or American, but what I want to tell you here is if the whole lot of proof that is there in the internet space and on my YouTube doesn't convince you, even going to bring the car and review it in my channel is never going to make any difference. That is the reality. So, what I want you to do is to get over yourself. There have been a lot of people who are requesting for the same thing you are requesting for. But when I look at it critically, I know that you cannot satisfy someone who don't want to be satisfied. He will always tell you that he's still looking for more. So in that regard, I wouldn't even want to stress myself to that very level. Maybe you don't have the capability to think critically to pause things up, but there is more than enough evidence in my channel. Videos I've put up there, different videos with different evidence. Maybe you don't watch them, you just skip them. But if you watch them, there are demonstrations that was made by this young man. Do you think that is everybody who comes to YouTube? How did you find people? It's only people who want to get some money, get some publicity that comes to YouTube, or who have a problem. It's not everybody who is so cool with coming to show off what they want, what they have, sorry, knowing fully well that there are a lot of people who has threatened this guy and even poisoned him. So if you have one of his products, will you really want to risk it and bring it online so that maybe your own government can be used against you? The answer is no, you can't do that. So pretty much as the Western world are not really putting the positive side of trying to embrace this technology, anyone who gets hands on it will not want to start coming to show it to the media. Why? Because they can be very, very influential. The big oil corporation can be very influential as to go outside the boundary of diplomacy to influence your politicians. That is why there's so much pushing for democracy in Africa. Why? Because in democracy system of governance, which is turned upside down how theirs is, they can influence your member of representative, your senate. They can manipulate anybody against you. So what would you do? Nothing. You become very vulnerable. So that is why I said it is not safe. Even if I should have any of his MSD or whatsoever you call it, a self-power generator or self-power motorbike, I'm not gonna put it in my channel because it's gonna make me a soft, in fact, a very, very high target. I get my point. I have gone through a lot of paperwork, a lot of details, a lot of histories, a lot of facts about how the Western world has pushed different African leaders. And I know that they can do anything. And to a point of even paying journalists to label anybody, to blackmail anybody. So they can go ahead and use the government to do whatever they want to do. However, it's only few handpicked African presidents who are really standing up to throw a fist against the Western nation. Some other person is also saying, why is it that the Chinese company that they claim that collaborated with them didn't show up, didn't come to the media to come and say that they have? And I laughed. I laughed in the sense that it is not your business. What they're after is the money. What they're after is the prospect, the profit that comes with it. Aside anything from that is just wasting of time. Like for instance, did any of you know when Robert Bosch made a trade agreement with Volkswagen in order to deal with their automotive systems and electrifications? The answer is no. Okay, what about Value? Were you there? Did Value came publicly to come and say we have signed a deal to be able to be the electrical engineers or the automotive engineers behind the Volkswagen group? The answer is no. Okay, what about Denso? Denso made most of the electrical part and AC part in Honda and Toyota car. Did anybody know? Did they come into the media and start saying, okay, we are going to be signing it? Did they show it? If you see it, I didn't see it. So what difference does it make? I don't think people are going through that route because at the end of the day, what matters is how much did you have? And if you don't have much, then what are you really talking about? So guys, that's it. Like I said, why I even want to make this very video in the first place is we are at the receiving end of the whole thing. So why are we even fighting ourselves? There is a saying by someone that said that the politicians create problem with their own political mates And young minds who do not know themselves go to wars and kill each other. This is playing out again. So now they have brainwashed most of the Western guys, including even this guy who is asking for demonstration from a customer. You know what it is? The first few batch that come out is only few who are going to grab it. Do you know what it is? Do you know the resources it takes to start trying to searchlight such person, spotlight the person who actually purchased it? You're gonna like comb the entire world to find the person. Did you have that resources? What do you think we're talking about here? How much do you think I'm making to start putting my life on the line trying to find a person for you? How much are you willing to how much are you willing to put in my purse? Because everything these days takes cash. So how much are you willing to put to start chasing ghosts? So whether I like it or not, in as much as the Zimbabwe government is currently establishing doing paperwork of establishing manufacturing plant in Zimbabwe, you think it's fake. Okay. Maxwell Chikumbutso meet with him, you also believe it's fake, it's hoax, and demonstrated it before him, the president of Zimbabwe. You still don't believe it. He stood boldly there that if you can be able to read this young man, maybe I should replay the video to you guys. If you can be able to see how he was talking to the president, you will know that he have element of fear and reverence. That is Africa for you. We know the implication of trying to overstep our boundaries. And it's kind of shocks me that most of you white people can be able to think that critically. Do you know what it is for someone to think about going to scam Donald Trump? It is a suicide mission. And you think that Maxwell Chikumbutso for 20 years ago has been working to scam the public. You are the most stupid person ever. I must tell you. You who is having that thought in your mind, you are the most stupid person. The scammers don't have luxury of time. In fact, the much a scammer can do in terms of time is, let's say, 12 months. He's going to take a serious, let's say, 4 to 6 months to study the person. Then the other one is going to be trying to execute it. But the ones we have these days, if they spend too much studying anybody, that's gonna be like within 3 months. The next 4 months is already attacking. They're like hackers. They don't have luxury of time to keep. So you're trying to tell me that someone is spending almost half of his age. This man is 44 years old, and he has spent not less than 20 years in experimenting different ways to be able to come up with this very invention, and you believe that it is not real. I don't know what is real to you. So I won't even go into trying to prove to you what is real or not. If the whole staggering evidence is not realistic to you, so what is real then? So these are the videos. Maybe I need to replay some of the video for some of you guys, because when you make a lot of noise, most of you who make a lot of noise, this is the car when it was driven to see the president of Zimbabwe, and that's the superbike right there for the demonstration. And you believe that this guy passed through the entire security protocol to meet the president of Zimbabwe, or to scam the whole world, to tell lies. Now, on the topic of why was he denied patent, why did you think he went and created the self-destruct mechanism to protect his job if you think it is not real? So that since the Western world, yes, made it, if they approved his invention, given patent. Then they have given Africa headship over themselves on technological innovations and energy. And what does that mean again? They have to rewrite physics. What does that also say again? Their fossil fuel industry $1 trillion is going to be going down. So there is a lot of huge impact there. So it's not going to be an easy one. And therefore, denying him of patent is going to make his work, his invention, vulnerable to theft. So that is what it is. Making his invention become vulnerable for theft. Now, this is the car, the interior part of the car. Does it look like a regular SUV, EV for you? I want you to go and check Kai in one of the inventor's speech. He says something that is very, very profound. He said, for every other Kai fleet of cars and models, you have to plug it and charge it, except the Seat Kai V. That is a powerful statement and bold statement. That is fact. That every other Kai product, when you talk about EVs, you have to be dealing with plugging it and charging it, but not Seat Kai V. Not even the manufacturer, the Chinese who manufactured it knows knows the nitty-gritty that is inside the black box that powers the car. And that is why the US scientific community want to see the nitty-gritty. Now, if you look at, I want to zoom this a little bit. Okay. Now, if you look at, if we take a look at the dashboard of this very car here, like I said, it is not like the normal EV. The normal EV is going to have enormous dashboard that start from one end to the other. But this one is arrestingly simple because he don't want it to be expensive. Now, let's bring things a little bit more open. Okay, over here, that is Maxwell Chikumbutso, and behind the president are press and a lot of dignitaries. And you tell me that the guy come all the way to bypass all these protocols to scam you. So if it is not real, why did the patent office in US and scientific community decide to poison him and his crew? If it is not real, if it is not working, that is something that most of you don't think about. If the invention is not real, it is not genuine, why going ahead to poison this guy and his crew? It is not a claim, it is not allegation. He lost a lot of his team going to US, now aside that, you should also be well aware there are other videos that are still coming up which I'm still going to bring up to tell you. So for most of you who cares, I know you're going to watch it, but some of you who don't care, you're going to sit there and say it's fake. And that is your own cup of tea. Because I know back in the day, you don't give a shit if Africa burns. You don't give a shit if Africa crash. You don't give a shit about how terrible the renegade leaders in Africa are making Africa such a living hell for their citizens. So you are nothing but a keyboard ninja. That is whom you are. That is the best you can do. If you think it's that easy, then step out of US. A lot of you guys who are saying this have not stepped outside your mommy's confines, your daddy's house confines. Not to mention getting out of US to Africa to come and see what is really going on. Why do you think that most Africans or Nigeria that are in US are doing better than most of you guys who are in US or even in UK? Because it's really, really hot down here. It's hard. Imagine where a country where like 80% are self-employed. And if you look at that 80%, like 70% of them did not get any incentive from government, no grant, no aid. They have to walk themselves from the ground slam, rock bottom, and walk themselves all the way up. Do you think that is easy? It doesn't happen in any Western countries. It doesn't. A lot of Western guys are getting things at the platter of good. I have a lot of guys over there who told me in automobility, told me, we bought our tools from government grant. That's the first time I'm hearing grant. I never knew such things like grant existed. Now imagine the world where you have thousands of graduates and there is no employment opportunity. You've got to become smart. Now, a lot of you who are, who are laboring Africa and Nigeria scam, if you are subjected to quarter the problem, the situation these guys are subjected, you might even become a terrorist, not even just a scammer. Because when human beings are pushed to the wall, that even surviving becomes very extremely hard. If you are in their position, you're going to do worse. I'm not saying that what they're doing is good, but that is survival instinct. Have you watched the buffalo attacking the lion in the wild? That is what it is. When situation push back at you, you react. That is normal human survival instinct, an animal survival instinct. You defend yourself with your defense mechanism, so that is what it is. So, if the Western leaders didn't go forth to start making life a living hell for Africa through their leaders, things that is going on in Africa these days shouldn't be happening. A lot of you guys know about it. Going on in DRC, Congo, and many other African countries. So I am not surprised if the Western world did not. That's the Western world decline his patent because they can't stand it watching Africa to become the new king in automotive industry, in energy industry, because from the Grand Slam, everybody, in fact, to the point, oh, come on, these guys are playing God. They want us to believe that they are God. And if you don't get the memo, why is Jesus a white person? That's a question. And why is it that in all the saints in the Bible, there is no one that is having an African name? Do you think it's a coincidence? So, the whitewashing everything has been such kind of a long time thing that's going on that a lot of people, in fact, to some point, a lot of people have to believe it. Except you have to think different. So, guys, oh, a lot of sorry, guys, I didn't even know the comment was really buzzing up. So let me attend to it quickly. Sorry. Okay. It's safe to say that this is the single greatest invention in history. Yes. That okay. Matthew Chidix. There is so many promises of clean energy with this invention, changing the first law of thermodynamics to have expert to say skepticism, however, not as much as Maxwell received it. Well, that is true. Now, let me say something about the law of the second law of thermodynamics that say that energy can neither be created or destroyed. You know, when you want to kill a dog, when you want to destroy someone's life, the first thing you do is to blackmail him, to brand him a bad name, just like they're calling Maxwell. That's the first stage. Then the next stage can be invasion and taking him out. Think about what happened in 2011, how they took out Muammar Gaddafi. It started with branding him a mad dog of the East, of the Middle East. And next, Obama and Hillary Clinton when the blah, blah, blah. You know the story. So, this is the first stage. So that's why I'm saying you guys shouldn't allow it. Shouldn't allow it. In fact, within the next week, I'm going to be blocking anybody who dare calls him a scam on my channel in my comment section. You don't rant such rubbish because I didn't remember calling Elon Musk a fraud or a scam, right? Even despite the fact that his vehicles are blowing up in some places, thermal runaway that you cannot prevent. Okay, how to contact Maxwell Chikumbutso? If you really want to contact him, uh, he's a very busy person. You know, the question you're asking is like trying to ask how to contact Elon Musk. Anyone who is claiming that he's Maxwell Chikumbutso right now is a fraud because he can't be available at this very moment. You are only, if there is any product you want to get or you want to have partnership with them, you're going to go to their website. That's saitstechnologies.com and put up your proposal. Or if your wallet is thicker enough that you want to make such a huge invention, then you write down to Zimbabwe. It's as safe heaven. Okay, let's go further in answering some question. Oil will still be needed to make products, but less needed. Yes, that is true. That's One Dennis. Then I can fire. Say this invention should be all over Africa before it leaves off the shore. That is good. Say we are too kind. That is true, my dear. We are actually too kind. We are actually too kind. And we have Alexi. Alexi says Maxwell Chikumbutso is a messiah. He will save humanity with his incredible invention. NASA already contacted him to develop the warp drive. We soon also have to achieve space travel. Well, that is, I think the Western guys are not going to like that. I think I'm going to try to include that in my next video. Thank you for bringing that up. That's Alex C. Now, there is something I want to say here that is very interesting, guys. You know, when people started fueling with hate and envy, they often forgot that this invention is not even for the benefit of the politician, but for you and I, the common man. They actually forget that very context. And it shocks me how people think and just throw things off. So, the warp drive, that's incredible. I will research about that and I'm gonna make another topic concerning that, another video concerning that. Do you think that the technology will be sanctioned in part of the world? Well, I think so. I think in some part of the world they're gonna sanction it, they're gonna ban it. I'm actually having that mindset. You know, when people think critically, the same ideas start revolving in their mind. Okay, Alexi, you said, okay. I saw video of NASA and SpaceX. They're building it in space. USS Enterprise and a featured Maxwell Chikumbutso warp drive. I think that's a prediction, right? I spoke with the lady CEO and she said that they are also developing high density energy generator that will power the next generation AI quantum and quantum computer. Well, Maxwell Chikumbutso is also the next about Einstein. Nothing is fake. It's all real. Well, Alex, I think you are Alex C. I don't know the kind of weed you're smoking. You are all over the comment section here saying a lot of things and saying that the person is grifted promoting a scam. Maybe it's time that you just get off my life. Just imagine, he talks and talks but doesn't say anything. Well, Alex C, I don't want to ban you in this very, I don't want to make you to Okay, I think Alexi is hidden right now. None of his posts is gonna come over here. Okay. Surprise, Elon hasn't tried to hire Maxwell. No, Elon will never do that. That is gonna destroy his business. Elon will never do that. He will end oil doubt by just posting a video of a car being drove for 24 hours. Well, that is not true. What I call him, he don't have that luxury of time to end all doubts by just posting a video of the car being drove for 24 hours. Look, my friend, that's a green Casey. Africa is not desperate to prove that it works because it's already working. If you want to believe it, it is all for yours. It is entirely up to you. If you don't want to believe it, fine. All right? Africa have enough to worry, not even talk about trying to prove what is already working to you. Okay, I have Michael Safa composed of radio wave technology that takes no gas, no motion, electric. Okay, I think I'm about to close this very section here. Okay. Green Sea. If you want the proof, if all the videos that are in my channel is not enough proof, you can go get one yourself. Nobody, how much is proving it to you what? I don't know. I don't really get it. Would you mind just stop spamming my live section? Green Casey. Okay. Yes. The Chili says, I will say this, the next few years will be crazy, and I honestly cannot wait to see what happens. I have such a high expectation and hope. Science, technology, and science is about to change. Yes. Yes, my dear. Without Europe buying from our product, it's not a damn thing. It's not a damn thing. There are people who are going to buy it more than Europe. The Chinese are going to buy it. The Asians, the Indians are going to buy it. So the Europe should go on with their fossil fuel and the rest of them. But one thing that would be well understood is that the dream or phasing out internal combustion engine for to save the environment, it is not as said by politicians. You know, someone has often said before that politicians are people who promise to build bridges where there is no river. So if they did not adopt the self-powered car, which will totally fix the greenhouse gas which automotive industries and automobilities are producing, then that is to tell you that the politicians are not telling you the truth when they mean that they want to fix the environment. That the reason why they are phasing out the internal combustion engines because that they want any greenhouse gas to be getting rid of. So it means they are hypocrites. They say one thing and do the other. It is not the first time we're saying it. So guys, it's time for me to say goodbye. Just at 1 hour of this live. So I've given you guys some points to note that the reason why they didn't give him patent is because of racial discrimination. He's a black guy. He's a person of color. So giving him such kind of power is going to cause a huge disruption. Even as they did not I like the way Maxwell has protected the work that if the European decided that they want to power up their car to run with a self-power technology, they'll have to pay. They'll have to come down to Africa and get the license. That is something very good. So guys, I'll see you guys on the next episode. I'll see you guys on my videos that are coming up. Stay tuned, stay positive, remain blessed. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in.